First of all, thank you and welcome. My name is Bakar and
My name's Nick. Hello, guys. How are
guys.
you?
We're Sneha and Joel. We're fantastic.
Great to meet you both. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
It's been a while. I haven't seen you guys.
Yeah, we have missed chatting to you.
Oh,
Yes.
likewise.
Well, in this podcast, we're aiming to go behind some of the biggest South Asian weddings that happen in Melbourne and talk to some of the couples who've organized those weddings and learn a little bit about them. So before we start, I would love for you guys to go way back and tell me how this came about, how you guys met.
She's looking
Off
at
you
me.
go, John.
So it was 2021, January 2021. We just came out of one of the mean lockdowns in here in Victoria, as most people who are listening would know how bad it was in Victoria. I just came out of a relatively long-term relationship. So did Sneha, and then we both we both got invited to a birthday party. Or well, she was invited for a different reason. I was invited directly because it was one of my groomsmen who was at our wedding, his birthday, and we went out to a particular beautiful spectacle of a club called Spice Market. I'll tell the real stories, rather better to tell that than the funny story. But it was I was obviously there with my friends. He got a booth, but you need to Sneha, and he had friends of a friend that had invited her because she
I was really there for ratio purposes.
ratio purposes. 'cause
Ratio purposes.
We needed women to basically get in to the club. No one was letting me put on a dress that day, so unfortunately. Fortunately and unfortunately, Sneha, we thankfully she was there, and I did meet her in line, and she just I went and hugged the people that I knew, and then I shook her hand and I said, "Hey, I'm Joel," and her name's Sneha, and she didn't say her white name. She said Sneha, not Sarah.
My
So
coffee order name is Sarah.
Oh, Sarah.
Oh, Sarah.
Very nice.
and then I think it was 3 hours later after a lot of dancing and a lot of building up of courage. I think she saw me dance and she did this in my head it was a comic book audible oh my god, she dances
She was
well.
smitten.
Yeah, she was smitten.
Man was
and
doing
then,
a great show in the birdcage.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh.
It was 98% of people were wooing for my white friend who was very attractive, and then me. I think maybe it was just her wooing for me, and came out and said hi, and the rest is history. And then we got together at good old Spice Market, not the Indian convenience store.
Yes.
Spice Market's really close to our heart as well, because the thing is, we had a really, really sweet moments there with you guys. So we'll get to that in a bit. That's incredible. The fact that you guys met the way that you met, it's very cute and very sweet. But other than the dance moves, who made the first move between you two?
I think you'd say you did because you said hi. and
I
tried
was
to
really
make
desperate to
initiative.
get a hello in the line because of all his friends that were there that night for the birthday boys. Joel wasn't part of that main group. He knew the birthday boy from a different sort of relationship. And I had never seen him before. I'd seen the other guys before. So when I saw him walking up, I was like, oh, okay, even though I thought I wasn't open to anything right now. Here is a very handsome man walking up, and he seems like someone I would love to talk to. And then I thought he was blowing me off in line. So I did try really hard to talk to his friend who I knew to get an introduction. So I thought I was making the first move. But I guess no, when I saw him dancing, he officially came up and spoke to me. So I guess that would be the first move. So, the confident, extroverted man he is.
Let's preface it that it took me 3 hours and a lot of talking to a lot of
A lot
other
of hen's
women,
parties.
a lot of other women to build up the courage to finally talk to her. But I was I was extroverted, so I needed to make sure that I bring people to the party. There were a lot of unhappy looking hens parties, so I was like, let me bring them to the dance floor. And I think she saw that I was just trying to bring people to the dance floor. And then eventually I was like, I'm just going to dance and have fun. And then thankfully she actually wanted to dance with me and have a chat. So
Yeah.
So you were basically like my Magic Mike there.
I was like Magic Mike.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love that.
My friend
was
took off a
closer to
lot of
that
his shirt.
version,
Actually,
yeah.
she actually you
I
broke.
said I wish that he was more like that.
You actually broke one of my buttons, if you remember. I was actually very upset at that moment. I was like, "What is my button?" Anyway, we digress.
Yeah. No, very eventful night. And he made the first move. He still remembers every conversation we had that night, which is very impressive.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. tiniest detail. He always remembers those. So what I wore, everything I said. Yeah. And he loves to quiz me occasionally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's always a losing battle.
Just
I always win.
Yeah.
Every time I win.
Just check whether loves that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more memory though. I'm
know.
like, I know the love's there, but
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
No, it's
he
definitely
was
more
there.
memory, and that's such a cute and beautiful memory as well.
absolutely.
Definitely worth losing the button.
Yeah.
I'd say. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we have to talk about the big camel in the room.
Big Camel in the room.
Tell me, I know there's been a few proposals, engagements, all that, but tell me about the big who proposed and how did it all happen. Tell us a little bit about that story rather than me prefacing it. I would love to hear it from you all.
I mean, I think it's only fair to say that like Sneha, like when I met Sneha, I think it was probably 3 months into dating, or even like the first couple of dates.
First couple of days.
She was just
Yeah.
like, I want to get married. I want a Rajasthan wedding. I want this. I want that.
We
And
set
I'm
our
like,
cards out on the table.
yeah.
Because I think we both weren't like we both had our hearts broken enough before then. We were obviously both very interested in each other, really respected and admired each other. But yeah, so as to sort of figure out what the future potential was of the relationship. And yeah, I was very upfront. I was like, I'd like to be married by this age, have kids by this age. Here's my typical trajectory. And he was a bit scared and shocked initially,
I
but
wasn't
then
scared. I would say like you were 24 and you said you wanted to get married at 25, and that year you were
Yes.
turning 20. That year itself, she was turning 25. So that
well,
was
I
a
didn't
bit
say it
scary.
had to be this year. I was like, I would like to get married very soon.
No pressure, no
There was
pressure,
a
Joel.
lot of pressure in that moment, but I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? Good things take time, and I said, you know what? Like,
Yeah.
if it's the right time, we'd obviously go look at marriage and stuff. And I think maybe in a way, we were really fortunate to go back to the proposal. So we're really fortunate that COVID kept happening and got worse.
Yeah, worked in our favor.
Sad to all the people that obviously lost their lives during COVID, but it's we ended up lockdown happened again, and I ended up, because I live alone in an apartment in Melbourne, I was like, well, her parents, I had just met the parents, and they were like, okay, this guy's pretty good, seems nice. I got along with them, and then they were like, well, why don't you come and stay with us? And I was like, okay, this is great. And I know so this at the wedding.
Major secret there, he made gulab jamun the first time from scratch when he came home. So you know how like when the ladka first visit home and then the
a lot
girl
of
will
ghee.
serve chai and then she will do all the cooking? Here I was like, yeah, my
I'm the
guy
woman in the
making
story.
me look
So-
bad and bringing
Yeah, so for all the single guys there, gulab
yeah,
jamun.
handmade gulab jamun. Make sure the
Handmade
apartment
gulab
smells like
jamun.
ghee for
Yeah.
like the next 3 months.
Yes.
You got to woo the parents.
But Joel had just not one condition, but I think when I laid everything out, he just said one thing. He was like, look, it's always the females that get the magical proposal. And, you know, why is it, and he being the feminist that he is, was like, why is it that the guy never gets proposed to? And the girl needs to figure out as well, or go through the motions of how hard it is and how much pressure there is.
You do have to say, I did say that like women already have it really hard with
Yeah,
childbirth
that's
and sexism in this world. And I said, why don't we just add another layer?
Yeah,
Please propose to me as
please
well.
propose to me.
But we jokingly said that. I didn't think she was going to do the proposal, but then she did surprise me in November 2023 with a really beautiful and like, I guess it was a proposal that I wanted, which was like a small group of my friends, my family. She threw me off by picking me up from the airport when I was going to Sydney, and then when I came from Sydney, and then then we got to the apartment, so my family home, and she laid out all these candles at home, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to propose to her. I was getting so excited, and like walking down my family home, I was like, oh my God, this is happening, and then
Had
we
the
get there,
lights, the
and then it
candles,
didn't
very
happen,
typical.
like it was
Yeah.
just a joke, and then there was like, oh, my whole family was there, lights went on, and then there was this random, beautiful, big white man, and I was like, why is he here? And he was just like, he had a knife in his hand, and he's like, I'm cooking you Japanese dinner. I was like, this is great. But so it was a great birthday surprise, but no proposal. So then she threw me on, like, it's not happening. It's never gonna happen. And then the next day, then she's like, oh, let's go for a picnic. It's your actual birthday. Let's do something. And then we went out for the picnic next door to Queen's Park in Moonee Ponds, and she had my friends all dress up in like Lion King characters or like animals, because I love animals. And
I wrote you personalized riddles that you had
too?
to solve to get to each
I never
destination.
solved them though.
Oh,
They were very
wow.
bad at
Yeah.
solving them.
Wow.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that was very cute. And it was like walk down memory lane through our favorite date spots. And yeah, she proposed to me and I said
So
yes.
the competitive
and
person in me had to do it first. But yeah, it was very much Joel's like catered to who he was and what he wanted. And then the following year,
Following year,
Girls' trip.
I know you talked about the camel. It's full. I just want to make we have to obviously talk about her proposal was beautiful, and then he got me. I mean, I had already started planning it in like 20. I say at some point in 2023, I was like, I want to give her the Rajasthani wedding that I cannot give her because it is for all the folks listening. Get married in Melbourne, it's still way too expensive in Rajasthan.
Plus, you get Nick and Waqar, so you know.
Yeah, you get Nick and Waqar, obviously, but yeah. So I decided like let's just bring Rajasthan here, and then it was a like full planning process of going like, how do I do it? Where's the venue? How do I bring a camel in there? Because I wanted the camel for one, we're from Indian, but both lived in the Middle East, and Rajasthan's full of camels. I also wanted the camel because I really wanted the camel for myself.
Most
took a long
it's all
time.
about Joel.
The camel was the hardest bit, and it was also like just odd to talk to the parents about it because they were like, "Why are you doing this? You don't have to do any of this." I'm like, "No. We're doing this because I believe in it. I want to give her the full Bollywood dance, the song, all the favorite songs, do the whole mashup. All my friends were involved, and I couldn't have done anything without her family, my family, our friends. They all got involved. You know, as you could see in the video, it was just fantastic, and you guys captured it so well. And the fact that you guys came in my corner and were able to just believe in my idea, like that was huge. Because I remember just talking to them, and I thought, first time I talked to you guys on a video call about this, I remember like these guys must think I'm crazy. Like, why am I doing this in the first place?
What were your first
We were
thoughts?
as hyped as you were. If you remember that call.
I was like, when I heard about a camel, I was like, mate, bring it on. This is going to be legendary. So it was, and it was incredible. Like people still talk about it. People still ask us about it. And you did good.
No,
I
it was
mean,
very
not saying that Sneha didn't do good, but yeah.
But it
The
was
world didn't
perfect
get to
for-
see as much. It's all right.
It was perfect for what both of us wanted. I never wanted anything big. I usually want to make her big, and as much as I do have a massive ego as well, I do think that I always want her to be like the front runner and be the person in front of me. And I think like doing it together made me feel confident that I could do it as well, because I don't think I could have ever done that for anyone else, obviously. And it felt so natural doing that in front of my family and friends. And now I would love to show that to our kids one day. So thank you again for capturing that so beautifully. It's photos and videos that, we always look back on. And
I didn't realize
just the
how
start.
Bollywood and filmy I was till people questioned if it was really a surprise, because I joined in on the dances and some of the hook steps, and I was like, nope, completely took me off guard. But I was just He did his research well. Apparently, every movie we watched that year, he was watching my reaction. So I was like,
every
No, I mean,
song.
when and Joel asked us as well, he's like, "Are you happy to shoot this and photograph this?" We were like, "Yep, 1,000 times yes."
yes, if anything that has come out of the Snow wedding and the Snow saga has been 1,000 times yes. That's right. I will grow to love that phrase one day.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta put it on a wall. But
We'll tell my future daughter to practice her response. Doesn't matter when the man comes. Just like have a phrase.
Have a phrase in mind.
And shout out to Flynn.
Yes,
yeah,
really
absolutely.
helpful.
very photogenic. Very photogenic. You know, the funny thing is, like when I go back and see those photos, there's this big family photo and Flynn standing there,
And he's got his head tilted.
and he's got his head tilted, but the caretaker.
Yeah.
He's there as well with the biggest grin on his face.
He looks like he's part of the family. He just knew what was going on.
He's part of the family now. So,
But if anyone ever asks, it's like, it's Flynn the camel and Peter Hodge camel tours.
The camel guy.
Camel guy in
Camel
Shepperton.
guy.
All those prices have doubled since I last spoke to. So
I'll blame you.
that's because of me. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. No, that's incredible. It brings us so many memories back. But straight after the engagement or the proposal as such, which was incredible. Natu, that was impressive. The dance, mate.
We forget how many parts there were. I mean,
I don't want to miss
There
out
was
on
so
that.
many parts.
That was also a big my mistake again, not informing you how much we'll move again on the day during the dance. So apologies for that I didn't inform you correctly that we're going to move around the dance floor.
definitely got your work out.
Nick makes a good point, because we were not expecting that either. And when that started, we were, while filming and shooting photos, we were looking and we were like, what is happening?
What is happening?
What is this energy? What are we feeling? Like, we couldn't control ourselves. We were just so excited.
Yeah, we were excited. I'm not even kidding. I said to Akara, it's like, mate, I got to go home and say I love you to my wife. It's been a while I've said that to her. Sorry, Anna. But it was so infectious. Like, And not only about you two, your friends and families that came around, and
So nice.
it was just like it rubbed on us. We were like, mate, this is so good. This is such like, and when it come back to taking it away, not taking it away from the whole YouTube, but putting it towards the whole wedding industry side, we could see there's a shift. Like at that time, at that specific time, like your proposal itself kind of like shifted the whole dynamic or the just how the Indian weddings are celebrated here in Melbourne. So
That's really cool to know.
it is, because there was a set pattern, there was a set way to do it, and nobody was bold enough and eager enough to go against the norm, and you guys did it.
And then
So
The magnanimity of it was just,
so it's just
That's
pretty
actually
cool.
true. Yeah, I never thought of that. That's very
It
cool.
Nice
kind
of
of
you
like
saying,
switched. It kind of switched because the thing is, not only that, right? Like in our businesses as well, when we put that content out, people are like, "Hold on a minute. So you're telling me you can get married like this, or you can have an engagement party like this?"
Yeah.
So kudos to you to plan everything
Yeah.
yeah.
and execute it well, and we were just there, the eyes to capture it. So it's all
all
you
you
guys
guys,
did
yeah.
it. So,
I think with Joel, if like one thing I've learned at all is how determined he is and how persistent he is. Once he has an idea, and I think because we were doing site visits like earlier that year for like our wedding the following year, and we saw the venue, and I know he was like, his heart was set on it. Both our hearts were set on it, but I think I was able to, I guess, calm mine down and was like, hey, this is not practical for a wedding or any of our other
What did
functions.
you say? What the whole family said? Oh, we'll have hay fever problems if you do it outdoors. And I'm like,
My dad
I'm
did
like
suffer
this.
from a lot of hay fever the following days
Papa
from the
did,
engagement.
but he was the happiest at doing the
He
engagement.
was, yeah.
So-
I think that was the best thing. But I think it comes back to capturing it as well. Obviously, as you said, the emotions felt were unreal, surreal. And every time those memories are evoked, you feel them again. But capturing that in the way that you both did was really important, because I know when we bring up those images or the videos and share it with other people and show it to them, they can feel that as well. And I think that was so powerful. And I still remember how excited I was on the day looking at you both, because after we'd first met you at obviously another friend's wedding, and like that's how we got introduced. I remember discussing with him, and you took that one photo of us on our phone, and we were still like, this is incredible. This is magical. I think this is the best we've ever looked.
I really want to see that photo. I don't even know
wanna
what
see
it
that
is.
I still have it. I'll show it to you after.
if you have it on our phone.
Yeah. And I think we, like, you guys are the first people we were discussing when we talked about anything wedding related.
You guys were the first always, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, money, budget, this, that. Can we do everything? And again, Joel was like, I know in his mind he was set, he was determined. He was like, nope, this is it. They made us feel something and we were moved. I mean, aside from, our perception of who we felt was the best in the industry or who could capture our wedding. Like, I think it was just that feeling and the emotion. And yeah, to this day, like every photo, every video that we have seen that you guys have captured just evokes an emotion and a memory. And that's so special.
awesome.
And it's
Very
very
sweet.
moving. Yeah.
Sweet.
And we've been through a lot of weddings.
I think that one of the main things, like from the moment we met, obviously the photo that Sneha was talking about, and the moment we met even online, and it's hard online on the first like body language and everything, but we did meet people online as well. You were the first one to post to other people as well. But I think that's the first thing I was like, I'm very big on reading people and the energy I feel. But the first thing I felt immediately was just trust. Like I immediately trusted both of you. I said, okay, these people are actually good people at heart, as much as you're a business. And I have no problem, paying X amount of dollars for a business that I believe in and trust, right? It's just that was the thing. Like we wanted to be like, if we wouldn't have gone with anyone else, and you guys made us feel immediately like you'll trust our process, but also you'll be open to listening or when we have crazy suggestions like we do, but also like you can also guide us and make us feel okay about like, stressing out about certain times in the wedding, times when I became like that or Sam became like that. Yeah, just the whole process, you guys, and apart from becoming friends, it just made us feel like, like it just felt so natural and in many ways like effortless, because sometimes when you're working with other businesses or vendors, you feel like it's work. With you guys, it never felt like work. It just, you just slotted in, became part of our life, and all our friends really loved you. Like all the friends talk about both of you, like how natural you guys became with them, and that's huge because, like I hope you guys remember that and know that you made an impact not just on us but our friends and our family as well.
No, absolutely, very sweet, very sweet. Cool.
Sorry, we probably digressed a lot there.
No,
Yeah,
this is
that's fine.
perfect. This is perfect. This answered so many questions that we didn't even have. So that's great. That
Exactly.
is great.
On that note, one more memory I do have though is I remember even in the lead up, because we had all the last minute conversations with the vendors and our video chats and everything. And I remember we had to obviously fit in so much and, you know, find times and everything. And sometimes even scheduling in, like as much as we love talking to you, like, oh, we got to do it and it's going to take long. But every time we spoke to you, it just like time flew and you made us feel, I felt very comfortable and relaxed, like in the chaos in the middle of everything. And I remember little like pointers and stuff as well that you both gave about timings of things on the days for the run sheet and the order in which to do things. Just, yeah, little things. And at the end of the day, just, yeah, take time, have moments for us and yeah, cherish everything, live in the moment. It was just really special.
Yeah,
I still remember that. Yeah.
Our roles have evolved quite a lot over the years as well. And
Yeah.
we've learned to be
Couple
timekeepers,
therapists as well.
therapists, stress keepers, like everything you can think of.
Yeah.
All those
Yeah.
roles we sort of fulfill on the day.
And quite often people forget it's not only about the couple, right? The stresses are not just for you two, but also the parents, also the family, also everyone around you. And that's something that we've learned to manage as well. And the fact that, like, I remember not saying that it was very stressful or anything for us or the family or anything, but we had so many events going on. The weather was sometimes very hot. There was so many moving parts. Yeah, but there was never a moment that for us it felt like, you know what, everything's crumbling down. Everything's not going as per plan. Everything's like just too much. It just felt organic too. At least for me, it felt like, you know what, we're going through the way we're going through it. It's just, we were enjoying it. We were like, you know what, we take immense pride to be part of your story and your family story. Like, it's incredible that we are able to do this. So yeah, it's having us there. You made us feel $1 million. Absolutely $1 million.
We're glad.
Yeah.
We wanted you to.
You guys look like $1 million on the reception, remember?
Yeah, absolutely. Had to. Cool.
Absolutely.
We might jump in a little bit of about wedding planning. It was a good segue. We've gone through the whole proposal. We kind of know a little bit of a story. So I think I know the answer to this question, but I want to hear what your thoughts are.
Yeah.
Was the whole planning a South Asian wedding with two different cultures in some sense in Melbourne easy or tough? And what were your challenges?
Oh, big question.
Yeah, those parts. Easy or tough first?
I think it's easy in hindsight when you just look back and go, it was challenging, but we got through it and things worked out and people were happy and we were happy. Vendors are happy, family's happy. I wouldn't use the word easy. I wouldn't say it was also that hard either, because we were together through the entire process and we communicated really well. Everything that I was thinking about this, like I had a feeling maybe something about this would come up. I was like, the way I thought of when we went into any question about the wedding planning, I was like, we have to be in line, and if you're not, we'll talk about it and then understand where we both are. But I think because we just knew like we have a goal, this is what we're working towards. Anything that happened externally with family pressures, this, vendors, that, things that are not possible, what can we achieve with the goal we're trying to get to, and live within our means as well as to what's actually possible. Yeah, we'll stretch in different ways. But what made it challenging is like time pressure, because I think the time was always running out. It always felt like, but even though we planned
for like 2 years.
we've been planning for a while. But I think what was really good is just that it felt so fulfilling as we ticked off things, like, because both of us are very big on like, that just made us feel good. So we're like, oh, let's get this done. Let's get this done. Let's get the next thing done.
Originally what I had imagined my wedding to be in Rajasthan. I'm so grateful we did it here. I think from that perspective, like, when you start to plan a wedding, there's the budget and everything like can just be blown out of proportion. And the amount of choice that you have, I think in places like if you were to go back home, like in India and things like that. And then also the pressure to, hire like a wedding planner and I guess feeling like you can't do it yourself. Whereas over here, we felt like the number one thing was we had cohesion. So that, and that's the advice that we give to any couple moving forward as well, whether or not they come from different cultures, but especially if they're from different cultures, even within India, is as long as you're a strong unit and you're together and you know what you want, that'll make decision making so much easier, or at least like you'll have a sounding board. And, you know, anytime you're facing any issues, just talk it out. One person will stabilize the other and then make a decision moving forward. So yeah, I think overall, like it was easier than if we had to plan overseas or move somewhere else. We also had a lot more control. Like for me, that was a big thing. So if we did one event overseas, and I think even handing over control for that. And I think because it was at the end, we were both exhausted. We're like, yep, happy for you, you know, dad, whoever to take over. But if I had to plan everything overseas, even if I had a contact with the wedding planner, it just wouldn't have been the same. Because it's also the personal touches, like the decisions you make in the moment, and every little detail we were pedantic about. So, you know, when people are like, oh, you can, if there's 10 things that we have to do, you know, what are your top 5 and what can you sort of let go of? Both of us are very much like nothing.
Yeah, that's something we probably should have learned, and maybe towards the end of our planning we got slightly better at.
But I think it's just the passion. Like it wasn't just a wedding or a project. Like we were so passionate about everything, and obviously the significance and the meaning behind getting married. But the fact that if we are going to put so much time, effort, you know, money, everything into it, like it's got to be memorable for us. Like at the end of the day, in that sense, we were quite selfish about making memorable for us. But I know as well, one of the other highest priorities was how we made everyone else feel. Yeah. So not just the vendors, but beautiful. The guests and everything. It was like, we don't want them, not just like we had to have a memorable wedding so people walk away being like it was the best wedding. It was more, we weren't just another number on the list, especially with such big weddings. It's the fact that everyone who was there at any point, including vendors, like they mattered to us. We had a very good conversation with everyone, from, you know, even like the florist who did my bridal flowers and stuff, who didn't have that much to do with me, to, you know, vendors like you guys who had a lot of involvement. We wanted every single person to feel like they were important and had a value in our life and in the events. So yeah. Those were the challenges. That was the challenge.
Yeah, I like, I'm going to just touch base on something that you said, the cohesion between you two. That's incredible. I got married a long time ago, 2015. And I got married overseas, and I was trying to plan everything there. It was difficult. But that planning phase from your proposal or engagement to the point that you're getting married, I think that's one of the most crucial times of your dating life or your life that you are as a couple, because that kind of like you had gone from that phase of pleasing each other to like, okay, what do we want collectively here, and coming back and agreeing on things and disagreeing on things when you've got families sometimes pulling you away from each other, but pulling and adding things into you, a complexity into the whole wedding planning. But the fact that you guys pulled out whatever you did with the whole wedding was incredible. So that cohesion, I think, is very crucial.
Thank you for saying that. I think I know you mentioned like probably maybe there will be a question on the cultural stuff as well. You mentioned that, but even the religious stuff, like I think knowing that we were two different religions, we knew from the beginning that would be its own challenges between the families. But I think it's easy enough to go like, hey, you know, we have our own constraints around what we want. At the same time, you know, we wanted to understand from our parents what they wanted, what they'd like to see. So we like, one of the things I'm really proud of, and I know Sneha's proud of this, is that a lot of other couples getting married, our friends getting married, as much as like we are here in Australia and we are very modern people, that a lot of people like, it's our wedding, we're just going to do whatever we want. Our parents just come to the wedding as guests almost, right? And we never wanted that. We always wanted to involve our parents. And I think we were really happy that throughout, our parents actually said to other parents that, hey, like our kids have involved us for every single step of the way. They've got everything, like, you know, from money to like what we're doing to every single thing, every vendor we're working with. So I think that was really big for them and made them feel proud that they could at least be part of it, as much as they weren't able to do everything because they have their constraints. But I think they at least gave us their point of view on things. We may have disagreed on things, but at least we realized that, okay, I understand where my parents are coming from about some things, same as her parents, same as our grandparents as well. How do we all bring it all together and make sure that at the end of it, like, are we overall happy? We're not all going to be 100% happy, as long as we're maybe at least 100% happy, but everyone overall is happy. And then that's what that joy would be felt during the wedding process. Because been to weddings where there's tension, and that's the last thing we wanted, was that people feel the tension coming in. So we were honestly very blessed that it worked out well.
Yeah. And it brought, again, like, us closer, the families closer, and just a shared understanding, which I think gives you a lot of hope for the future as well, because this is just the start of so many discussions that you're going to have, building a future together. But I think, it was a great chance for our parents to see us working together, how much we respect them, and also trusting in our choices a bit more. And having the faith and belief. So,
No, definitely. And the fact that you guys are both problem solvers, apart from cohesion as well, I think the fact that you can you can solve problems on the fly, because weddings are not easy. Big South Asian weddings are not easy. Having different religions, different backgrounds, different cultures, and then having so many events, there's bound for problems to come up. And the fact that you were resolving them as you went along, and you might have felt it at certain places, and it might have come to your face, but you did a really good job, both of you, I think, of just moving along and just chugging along the way. So which was beautiful. But coming to that point of doing something special for every single guest and everyone to experience it, you had so many events. Everything had a theme, right? Yes. The haldi had a theme with the South Indian background. You had you got the most iconic venues for the church, as well as Plaza Ballroom, which was obviously does exclusive weddings, 20 weddings a year. What was the sort of the thought process behind choosing your venues and why you chose the venues that you did? You can talk about the Plaza Ballroom or talk about the decor a little bit. Tell me a little bit about that, and what would you recommend other couples when choosing venues, what to look for, and what are the pitfalls to sort of avoid?
I understand it's looking at me like as well.
I can go. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I've been planning my wedding in my head for a very long time, much before Joel came into the picture.
Since 24.
She doesn't even need me.
No, it's funny because I actually had a note that I found. I knew I had written it on my phone, and I was wondering if I still kept it during the wedding planning process, that like young me wrote, very young, like I don't even know, 18, 19 or earlier, about the events that I wanted to have and the clothes and the hairstyles. Obviously, I didn't have any note about the kind of groom I wanted. That was just an image in my head. But I guess nothing, like even to some extent the decor, I think the actual venues itself, because you said the wedding industry has changed. Back in the day, it was more you'd get a hall and sort of deck it up, and it would have a theme or a vibe. So I think I had the themes and the vibes as well. So when we started talking about it, I think Joel, when he imagined his wedding, was nowhere near this big, but then he saw the vision. And I think the perspective that he helped bring to sort of ground my airy-fairy Pinterest boards was that everything has to have meaning and significance. So I think, and that's what tied everything together. So when it comes to individual selections, I think at the forefront, like we never wanted to have the biggest wedding of the year. We never wanted to have the big flashy venues or any such thing. I think if that happened, it was like a blessing and a fantastic consequence of our actions. But it started off with figuring out, we've been to so many Sangeets. Why is ours special to us? And it started with both of us very passionate and love dancing. It also started with the fact that, it's not just a North Indian wedding. There's got to be, like, I love the South music, the energy after the engagement and Natu. I was like, we have to bring a mix of everything. And also because, again, we'd seen couples in weddings where, because you say it's Sangeet, then it's thought of to be more of a North Indian thing. It's just Punjabi, dhol, very loud. So we wanted to, I guess, explore the breadth of India, explore the breadth of our, like, different cultures and music. And I think one of the first things that Joel said as well was it can't be all Indian. Like, we have to have some, like, we love dancing to Spanish, Afrobeats, Western music, R&B, hip hop. So we found places where we could fit everything in. And then after that, I think when we did venues and site visits, I guess the thing preceding that was deciding on the magic number for every event, which is a very big thing for South Asian weddings. And I guess that's the number one thing that guides your venue selection. So we did a lot of research and visited a lot of places. And I think at the end of the day, as with most of our decisions, it's just what felt right and what clicked. And again, the Plaza Ballroom has a special story, so I'll leave that one to Joel. But yeah, I think every venue we went to, it just made us feel something. And we didn't think about the typical things that, you know, even our parents gave us feedback on, which was what were the food and package inclusions like? What was the parking availability like? Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, yes, it does make a difference to the comfort of our guests, but I think the venue itself and what you can do with it and how it makes you feel was so much more important. I guess the only other thing we had in mind when picking venues was we didn't want to do too much of the same. So if we'd visited a venue for a different event, whether it be a wedding or, you know, through both of our high schooling careers, we'd had lots of functions and we were like, we can't go to that venue because we had graduation there or, you know, sporting ceremony things there. So yeah, that helped narrow down the choice. When it came to vendors, we had like the first few were very easy, yourselves. If I can mention like a few names and stuff. So definitely Ritesh for henna. I knew I always wanted him. It didn't matter again, like what the price was or anything. I resonated with his passion, his creativity, his vision. And I think it matched like, again, the idea and the theme that we wanted, which is that Rajasthani regal vibe, I guess, but also the intricacy and the emotions that you feel in his mehndi. Like Neha was very easy choice as well. We definitely asked around, but I think when we spoke to her, it was, she made everything seem effortless. Again, she really enjoyed the vision and the passion behind every event. And we were blown away during the week when she herself added, like there were little touches and little details that she added that we picked up. That wasn't something that we discussed. And so going above and beyond. What else? DJ was very...
There's a lot of vendors, John.
There's a lot of vendors, I know. And that's why we just didn't make them all properly on the list. But I think, yeah, DJ as well, like was... Yeah. So I think everything came together because we felt it was right, is probably how we could easily summarize it. And that just goes out to when you do your research and when you talk to your vendors, you'll feel what clicks and what doesn't. And then the secondary aspect is obviously budgeting and everything.
I'm smiling because Sneha, if anyone's listening, obviously, I mean, well, the people and obviously you guys, Sneha's a realist, I'm an idealist. So for the longest time, the story of Plaza Ballroom is that we did go visit it probably almost 2 years before the wedding. They said straight up, no, we're not going to do the wedding because we don't do, we do corporate functions during December and it makes a lot more money. We don't do discounts at that time. So I'm like, nothing, there's no such thing as a no. we can always make it work. So like for like a long time I didn't tell Sneha that I was doing this, but I was just trying to find a way to make them want us to do, make us look at our story, hear our story. I want you to want us at your venue. So then what ended up, I'm not, obviously like things happen, blessings happen, and it was not just me. It was just, I think, when the proposal happened is when I was like, I told them about the proposal and I wanted them to understand, like, this is why we want to, you know, like not just continue a theme, but also I love theater. I love art. I love the architecture of the Regent Theater as well. We both really loved it. Her mother really loved it. So I think because she loved it. There was a lot of symbolism behind every venue and like every theme, every event that obviously we realized and we tried to put for us. I don't know if it was visible, but yeah, like I think the theater thing definitely, like Joel's love for theater. Yeah. Ever since I've met him, he was like, wow, nothing could be better than having my reception and concluding at a place night. Like that. But also, it's also, I think, because it also reminded me of it had a bit of Rajasthani regalness to it. So I was like, I wanted to see if we can get there. And eventually just consistent persistence. And then finally we went again for another showcase. And then they had an open night, like open night. And we chatted with them and we tried to make it work then. And again, it was more issues. And then it was me just constantly trying to convince them. And then finally, after just enough like I think enough persistence or enough annoyance, they were like, okay,
And a bit of luck
and a
because
bit
the
of
event
luck.
got cancelled.
Yeah, a bit of luck as well.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, we can do December. However, we can't do the discount. I'm like, no, come on, you gotta help us out here. And then finally, they came to the table. They gave us the date we exactly wanted. They came like they were ready to do everything.
Well,
and
they
then,
had a corporate function on that day already, so that was the biggest hurdle. But then, when they said like that got cancelled, they entertained our request, and it was really smooth.
It was meant,
to be.
Honestly, like I couldn't believe.
Wow.
We were pretty excited. We ourselves were pretty excited because we photographed in so many venues, and after a certain time, we know like, we know everything about the venue.
Yeah.
But Plaza Ballroom was one of the venues that has always been on our list to go and photograph. And when you told about that's the venue you guys have decided to have your reception at,
we were super stoked.
I still remember the day. I told Wakar, this is where the wedding is. Like, hold on a minute, what? This is where the reception is. So not only that, right? Like the whole reception, like the party was just insane. We have all that, and then that was. I won't say that was the last wedding of that year for me, but neither for Wakar. We had a few more weddings, but we literally stood on the streets there, looked at Plaza Ballroom, shook hands, and said, "Yeah, this was
something special." We took a selfie.
We took a selfie.
I'm actually so upset that we didn't get a good selfie during the wedding week. I don't know unless you have one, but I think just being so caught up in the moment and the emotions. But for us, it was like it was a milestone to be able to go and photograph and have work there. So Plaza Ballroom, if you guys are watching, you should have more South Asian weddings and put us as a preferred vendor. And I'm glad your work got recognized as well.
Yes.
Very big way through your Vogue selection and everything as well. But it was magical. I think, we walked away from the whole wedding week pinching ourselves and feeling like it was magical, and we were incredibly proud.
We're genuinely blessed, honestly. I think the final with everything that happened until the final event, Plaza Ballroom was a fantastic venue, worth every dollar that we spent. I think the venue, the staff were incredible, the people were incredible, they were the most organized. It was just everything was just immaculately done. It was just they thought of everything. They to the point that I was doing the lighting changes the day before, and I was thinking of. I'm almost a very pedantic. So I was I need the light to reflect on Sneha's gown and correctly. So I had to go pick the right light. It was just you can do these little things on different nuances of the venue was super cool. But I think what was awesome is just that the staff were so happy, and they just I felt like we were movie stars that night. They just let us do whatever we wanted.
I think you guys captured some great content as well, behind the scenes of them having a great time. And I think again, comes back to what we said, we wanted every person involved to have a ball.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that finishing with the biggest party and everyone having the biggest party, we couldn't have been happier because we fed off that energy as well. We were running purely on adrenaline by that point.
Yeah. I didn't even get to eat my dinner.
I think that only one regret for that because we love the food and the wines and the drinks and the tasting.
We definitely did.
But we didn't, as always. The couple doesn't really get to eat and drink much on the night. But
brings me back so many memories. But a couple of things that you pointed out, I want to talk about that a little bit more. Numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is something very crucial for anyone who's planning a wedding.
Yeah.
There are budgets that they have in mind, and then there are budgets that they achieve or they try to achieve, and then the numbers that they actually come out, right? Especially for a wedding which spans across 5 or 6 days, with guests, 250 plus guests, iconic venues across Melbourne, with all the logistics and everything. So how did you guys do? How did you fare with your numbers? Where did you land? You had a budget, and where did you land? Or what would you tell the couples who are planning something similar? What to expect?
Husband.
Or even if you're comfortable sharing a ballpark figure.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with it because we did it collectively. So I'll give a ballpark. It was at least $200,000, right? Mm-hmm. At least, right? You're spending, if any one event at any reception every year, it's just going to get more expensive. With 200 guests, most reception halls everywhere is about 50, 60, 70K. You going really low budget, maybe 30, 40, but if you got multiply that with multiple events, it adds up. You got vendors you're paying for, all of that. So I think we knew from the get-go there was a number we have. And I always had a very big umbrella, like we'll get there, and then 30% on top. Like you have to have a contingency, like because everyone used to say that. That's the number. And we knew like for us, fortunately, like, I'm very, very lucky and I guess blessed that when I came to Australia, my parents, we migrated here. I moved out of home. I like saved enough, a certain amount of money, which is good, but also like Sneha also lived at home up until we got married. So there was, budgeting wise, we had budgeted enough, and we also knew what we needed post wedding and what our goals were, and we were aligned on those goals. I think we can always go back and be like, hey, we don't spend any of the money on the wedding, but then we would never have this beautiful wedding and this beautiful experience and what we got out of it, the feelings, the photos, all of those things that we would love to share with our kids one day. So if anyone like listening, like, and you're considering things, like live within your means, but just don't go, like, you're going to stretch it in a few things, but I say like, don't like go with every single thing. Don't go above like some things you'll have to pull back in. Some things you'd be like, okay, let's push it a bit. At the end of it, we didn't have any regrets, right? Like, I think the main thing, I didn't want to go back and I was just telling Sneha, like, if we just choose not to spend that extra $1,000 or $2,000 because we just go all like, because the money eventually, like, it is finite and we're going to keep increasing. We're going to keep exponentially increasing our income over time. How are we going to, like, if you look at it now and just go, oh, you saved a couple $100 here and there, that's great. But then don't jeopardize something because in that moment it feels like the right thing to do. But also don't overstretch yourself as well. And that's when we just, and I think the kindness of vendors like yourself doing the extra hours as well for us, like those things, like where people were good to us and gave us that extra bit of time and help, and we were able to do that together. And Sneha, I mean, I'm the idealist, so I do stretch myself. But Sneha brings me back in and be like, let's be a bit more realistic and let's,
But I think, the key was once we had started going to our initial site visits, got the first few quotes and stuff, it gives you a fair idea of what the pricing is like firstly. And then based on that, what are you comfortable spending? And then times by how many events you want to do like that. So even for a lot of people, for example, like the home events, our home events still ended up being quite big. And, we did invest in things like, of course, photography, videography is there, but things like decor and all of that enhances it a little. But again, it aligned with, we had a vision, like, the mehendi, I had a clear theme and idea. The haldi, we had a clear theme and idea, and we wouldn't have been able to bring Kerala to the backyard if we decided to DIY it. So I think everything, like you weigh up what your priorities are, but if you set, like I still remember at the start of our Google Sheets, when we set that number and we broke everything down and then we had our 30% contingency, it was very important for me as well at times to keep reflecting and going back on that, to be like, okay, how are we going? What more can I add or take away? The closer you get to wedding week, during wedding week, and the closer you get to it, like 2 weeks before, you say yes to everything. So it's very important to have a running total because, you will willy-nilly say yes to stuff. But as you said, as Joel said, we don't regret anything. We also had the good thing, or the other thing we had to keep in mind, was we were going on our honeymoon straight after. And that was a long one as well, which again, no regrets at all. That was a very eventful journey as well. But I think because we planned for that, it just put everything into context. And again, we had other things in our life that we'd considered in terms of, like where we'd move into and what life looks like post-wedding. So because we'd had all of those discussions and very openly, we did speak to our parents about how much each side is able to contribute. I think we're very clear from the very beginning that neither one of us agreed with the traditional mentality of it should all come from the parents. And again, we were very, headstrong with our visions and our decisions. So we wanted to take accountability for the spending as well. Just take ownership of that part. But again, like we said, respecting what our families wanted. Yeah.
No, thank you for sharing that. I think anyone who's listening to this, they'll find it really, really helpful to get an idea on what numbers look like and how much they should be stretching yourself, as you said. The 30% contingency makes a lot of sense. I'll keep moving things along because I want to get to the fun part about,
Okay.
about
Oh,
us.
the right part.
About us,
Yeah.
about us.
Okay, about you.
No, I want to talk to you guys about, obviously there were so many events, so many hours. You were spending probably the most amount of time with your photographers and videographers on the day. How was it like being filmed and photographed all throughout these multiple hours, multiple days, random times, early morning starts, late nights, and spending time with us throughout that process? Tell us a little bit about that.
You have words? I have
uh,
one sentence.
Oh yeah, you can say it.
Okay, spending time with you guys was the best. It felt effortless, and it was very relaxing. Like I was looking forward to the times when we could step out and have our own time with you guys to have a bit of a chat, but then also like you faded away into the background, but in a very good way where you still captured our feelings and emotions and we got our alone time.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. I think it reflects back to like when we met, like the comfort you gave us and how we felt. I think it's not like I don't feel that unnatural because I think Sneha loves taking photos of me. So I don't feel that unnatural in front of the camera. Or like being filmed and stuff. So I think that maybe in that sense I'm fortunate, but at the same time, when you guys like behind the camera, like I think there's been many very specific moments that happened during the wedding. Like I think the first moment I remember was when we did the first look when at the Hindu wedding, and he brought me in and got Sneha ready. And I think it was just like the drive there and the talk we had, like Nick and I had, like that was like a really like it got me thinking like this is like the first main event, and like how I'm gonna feel, what I could feel, how I should let myself feel as well. And it also like I just felt like I look back at that video and I look back at photos and I almost feel like I'm a little kid again, like a child looking up at like a girl that actually decided to marry me, and that feeling of like you made me feel like I could be completely vulnerable and raw and just like be myself. Like crying is not a problem. I've absolutely I have no issues crying, but it's just crying in the sense that like feel no shame. Like that's how you guys made me feel. And that's similarly when you set up the Spice Marketable car, like that was done so well when we came in, and I was wondering like how are we gonna do this? Like am I like I guess I've technically seen her in the dress because I helped her pick the dress.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have seen her, but then that like you just made it like the music was perfect, the moment was amazing. That both those moments were so good, and I think throughout the wedding, like every time we would look to you guys to sort of assurance as well, like are we doing okay?
Yeah.
Because like you guys have seen enough weddings, seen enough couples, like we needed you to tell us, and you didn't need to tell us. I think you just made us feel like everything was okay, even when I'm sure there were times you're like these guys are crazy. Like how are we handling them? But you guys made us feel like okay, we're not that crazy. We're okay. They still like us. I think they're happy to work with us.
I can definitely add to that. Nick's got this superpower with first looks, and I think he was one of the first ones who set the trend in the industry here in Melbourne about playing music and getting you in the right moment and giving you a bit of a pep talk before you see your bride for the first time in that dress, and then the emotions just flow. And not just, I guess, with you looking at your bride, even with parents looking at a daughter. Do you want to talk a little bit about that,
absolutely.
Nick?
I think more than the bride and groom's first look, for me, the father and daughter and the mother and daughter, that first look is much more closer to my heart than anything. Because I feel like that's one of those moments that, your parents want without knowing that they want it.
Yeah.
But they can't really say that they want it.
Yeah.
They don't know how to. And I feel like, the weddings go on and you go through the whole celebration and everything. And then you have those, like the parents, sometimes the parents are just in the background and they're doing everything and they've done everything since day one.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was one way to, bring them in and tell them how important they are to you. So tell me a little bit about that. Tell me when we did that first look, especially with mom, dad, and also your brother.
Yeah. That was very emotional.
What was going into your whole mind? What were you thinking about, and how did that play out?
I think it finally hit me. Like I was getting married and I'd be leaving the family home. And I'm we're all very close to each other in our family. So I think everything that people say about, they'll miss, your presence, like the absence of your presence. And yeah, like I saw the emotion in my dad's eyes and, you know, like little Guria vibes. And yeah, because I have always been his little girl. I think as much as I've always wanted to try and, you know, make him proud, be the strong one, achieve all these things, like in that moment, it was just so raw. And those emotions that came out, I thought initially because we were all getting ready in the same house and, you know, here and there they'd pass me, like mum has always been by my side and I was very grateful she was there all morning. But I thought initially, oh, you know, are they going to be able to show their emotions? Because this is really the only time as well they'll get that day. Because once the event's on or once you're in the car, like you have to be switched on. But yeah, it was really beautiful. I don't know what you said to them, but I know, yeah, when I opened the door and I saw them turn around and just their eyes, like, and that's what I mean. Like I look back at those photos and I actually think I've seen more emotion through the photos than I remember maybe even on the day, which is so beautiful. Like just my dad's eyes welling up and my brother who just, he was a mess. Like he couldn't believe it himself. Mum, I thought was more composed out of all of them overall, which is very surprising. But yeah, it was a very beautiful moment that I will never forget. And then I think it almost felt like the portraits and everything after that, they were important, but you know, I was just going through the motions. And again, like I said, on reflection, when I see the photos, I appreciate them. But in that moment, all I felt was just emotion.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, well, I mean, that's why we want to do this. I look at it that segment, like I say to my couples, if you can do a first look with your family, please do. Even if they've seen you in the dress, a few hundred times, do it. But it's not about the dress.
No,
it's not about the makeup. It's not about the hair. It's not about anything or how it looks on you. It's about the realization that this is that moment where you were walking out of the house.
Yeah, she's leaving. Yeah.
She's leaving. But at the same time, you're welcoming her son home.
Yeah.
So all of that, like it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. And if you're not able to capture that, you're doing injustice. Like you got to have those moments.
Yeah.
I got to capture those moments. And very close to my heart. Very close to my heart. And
special.
Seeing your dad and your brother cry, there could have been a little bit wet eyes on the other side of the camera as well. But
you have some very adorable photos of my dad as well.
But every time you do that, like it just wells up our eyes as well behind the camera. It's not like I know you guys are going through the emotions, but we can feel it as much reflected back to us. Whether it's yourself, Joel, looking at Sneha for the first time, or the parents when they were looking at you. And I also think of my daughter, right? Because she's gonna grow up and get to that age, and I'm just like, oh, I'm bawling behind the camera. I'm struggling to hold the camera, so it's beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. Touching back on a previous point, I know you guys were very comfortable in front of the camera and very, very relaxed because of the vibes that we had with each other as well.
Yes,
but
I was going to say we weren't before that.
if there are couples who are nervous about being on camera, what would you say to them? What's the best way to go about that?
Feel the music. I kind of felt the music. I remember like I was very nervous the very first time. So I always think back to the proposal, where I was, you know, as I said, very excited to see you both walk up. But then when we started filming and everything, I remember even Joel being like, I thought you always wanted this, you know, like you wanted the photos and all of that. And he was more natural and I felt very nervous and self-conscious. But I think, just settling into you playing great tunes, and I always, you know, like letting myself be normal and relaxed, and also just leaning into your partner and just being like forgetting that you're in front of a camera, and just showing the true emotions when you're together. Yeah.
I think my approach is, it's like I agree with Sneha, but I think like to a couple listening, I think it has to come from within. Like you just have to like remember the camera is just a tool. It's just there. Like it doesn't have to be there. Just pretend. Like, don't have to pretend it's not there. Accept that it's there, and just try and like be present and enjoy the moment, and don't worry about it. Because I mean, there's 1,000 angles. I'm sure I don't look very good right now, and I could play in my mind and all this stuff, and my head forward shining like a beacon or whatever it is, right? Like it's just all these things. But then who cares? Like, and especially because if there's a camera on you, there's something important happening, and let that moment be important, and just give it your full attention
Be present.
and be present.
Yeah.
Be mindful. Yeah, I think that's what I say.
And
to
let
all my
you guys do
couples.
the rest. Because
Yeah.
like I said, after I saw the engagement photos, I was like, all right, doesn't matter what I do, it's okay. They'll make us look great.
Yeah, and it helps if you've got so many events because you've got the engagement of the proposal and then our style shoot.
Yeah.
Yes, the pre-wedding shoot.
The pre-wedding shoot,
Yeah,
and
there was a
there's like
lot.
different events, so it helps. Like you kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
So definitely, that's sweet. The wedding week or wedding weeks went through, but during that wedding week, did anything unexpected that happened? Was funny, sad, whatever that you want to share?
Funny, I can go funny. Not funny. It was probably more. It was heartfelt. Heartfelt, funny. The thing that Sheldon. So one of my groomsmen during the same like the Catholic wedding day when I was with my family doing a prayer. I was reading one of the verses from the Bible, and then when I just started reading it, and like I think it was like probably 30 seconds in. My mom and dad are holding my shoulder, and one of my really good mates, who's a groomsman, Sheldon, who was the MC for the wedding. He just bawled. He started bawling his eyes out with crying. And then he uses the words. I may as well say it. He doesn't say crying. He uses the words brain coming. So that's like him like crying profusely, basically. So, but he was crying, and we actually saw each other last night, and talked about it. Like, and then that moment was so big for him because he was maybe a little bit stressed during doing the emceeing and everything leading up to the wedding. But then I think in that moment he realized like he is one of my really best mates, like getting married, and this moment is for him, like, and then I think he just started crying, and like it was such a beautiful moment we shared together, and we held each other some beautiful photos that we got of this that I've evidence now that you cried. Like and it was just, I think that was not funny, but it was just a beautiful moment. And I don't think I expected him, who was quite a burly man, not that I haven't seen him cry before, it's just more like I didn't expect that on our wedding day that cried more than Sneha, if anything.
Still holds plastic.
So it was beautiful, like like your friends really wanted rooting for you, they want this for you, which is such a nice moment in my family home. But unexpected, there's a lot of things that happen during the wedding, but
the biggest thing for me was just my health.
Oh, the health thing,
So I mean, we had a tough year. Like I had big surgery last year with my knee, but I just felt really ill during the wedding week. And I think like we spoke, like you definitely heard it. I was just coughing relentlessly to the point where I had like my rib cage was sore. And it was hard because everyone was like, oh, but it doesn't even look like you had a knee problem or you're not well, like during the events, the way you're dancing and everything. Which the body is miraculous, and adrenaline does wonderful things. But that was quite unexpected. And if anything, like I think the very first event, it really affected my mood. So we started off just with a oven at home to obviously like the beginning of something very special. And I remember sitting there being like, because I love being present. We, as a family, we don't do it very often, but whenever we do, it's for really special occasions and, moments where that I love and cherish. I love doing the practice of a oven. But I was sitting there just coughing and not even being able to say the mantras. And I was like, oh my God, this is how I'm starting my wedding week. But look, it all worked out in the end, and it didn't deter too many things, just a couple of hoarse voices during speeches and things. But I'm glad we were able to enjoy during the event itself. My body was just switched on. But after that, I know it was very hard because everyone was just really worried and tense in between. But all the usual fun stuff that happens anyway behind the scenes with family drama, things going wrong, things will run late, you'll forget things. Almost didn't have flowers on the day of our Catholic wedding.
I remember that moment because your mum, she was besides herself. And I went and spoke to her mum, and she was just like in tears. I was like, happens, doesn't matter.
It's like,
It's like, Nick, I had one job. I was like, no, you didn't have one job. You had a lot of jobs.
No, lots of little moments, but you ride the wave.
I was thinking more like, I guess maybe what the listeners would think of like unexpected. I think you don't like a lot of the vendors, probably not necessarily yourselves, but like let's say the venues as such, they sort of as much as there's some, the Plaza was really good, they were very, very organized. But some venues were like, let's get it done like the week of your wedding, they wanted stuff. And it was just really hard when we have multiple weddings. So it's just kind of like
multiple events.
Multiple weddings. But yeah, just I think maybe just if I could go back, I would like push it back on them to be a bit more proactive. Like they were like, oh, it's not your time, Joel. And I would send the forms like they don't want to look at it. So it's just like those things were like sometimes a bit hard when you wanted to get things done in our time, whereas like sometimes they're not ready to take on information at that time. So I think just for the people listening, like if you can try and make it easier for yourself in the lead up during the wedding events, it makes it easier for you because and then on top of that, I think just maybe remembering that you're gonna have so many things like that feel like are going wrong, and everyone always says like no one really notices anything, and just like try your best to like let it go because no one really cares. It's just you and probably just you sometimes. Maybe just me who has that problem and says like it's fine, let's just move on. So yeah, hopefully that's good advice for people listening.
That's very good advice. And I remember, didn't you have ACL surgery?
So I did. Yeah,
and you were
did
dancing.
my ACL and meniscus and third.
And you were dancing on the Sangeet, and I was like, how is she?
Yeah, I
doing
had
that?
my leg in a brace. You have captured that.
I remember.
I remember rewatching the videos.
That was unexpected. I knew you were going to dance very well.
Thank you. But I think it was a great, like, when you need just the best motivation for the end of the year to get better.
I mean, let's be honest, you've been waiting for that day for a long time.
For a very long time. I was like, no one's going to tell me I'm not dancing during that week. I'm
going to do both my ACLs
and still dance.
Joel was very supportive. It was it was a rough time. Lots happened, I think. Not just with that, like in our personal lives. And it was a big year, but it was all worth it. We have something to look
I think that's probably like one of the things I hope people, whoever listening, I think the wedding year for a lot of people will seem like it never, like, that's why I think I know it is challenging, but just believe that things will become okay. And like, if people are spiritual out there, just believe, if you have a belief, then believe that you're being taken care of and be blessed that things will become okay. Because I think for us, like, there were so many things that happened last year, apart from just her knee, it's just like so many things happened in our personal life that felt like, oh, why is this happening now? Why is this happening now? But I think it was meant to happen now because maybe that's just a way of like life. Like you just have to like find a way to push through whatever shit you're going through to find real joy in it. And at the end of it, we found real joy. So whatever happened didn't really matter because like she was like in such pain during the surgery, during the whole process of last year. And, to come out at the end of it and dance and like, we tell people like, 9 months or less of the surgery, post-surgery, like the fact that she was able to do what she did. Most people who know like ACLs and knees, like she was incredible, like the work she did to even get there. So there's always going to be things that happen. Just believe that it'll be okay and believe that it'll
if it's not okay, it's not the end. Very cliche, but it did really did come through. Yeah.
No, that's great advice.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So if you had to go back and if you had to pick one thing that you do exactly the same 100% and one thing that you would change 100%. You can have a collective answer. That's
one thing that I would keep the same.
100%.
Can I not keep all of it the same?
You can.
I'd definitely keep all of it the same. I wouldn't change anything. I wish I wouldn't change anything because I think everything. The only thing I wish I could change. For Sneha not jumping on a sand pit or whatever she tried to do.
I don't regret that.
Like,
it worked out in our favor.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Gave me lots of planning time.
Yeah, maybe the ACL surgery was also good because she had more time.
If I can be so honest.
Maybe fake it next time.
So that would have been better. But
no, I'm just. I would keep everything. I would. My only regret or biggest regret, I think, like we said, is those selfies we did. I actually really wanted to take a little selfie or capture a moment with every vendor to give you a little shout out eventually one day, God knows. But I think also the only other thing I would change is in our speech. So again, it just comes back to the vendors that I would have liked to give a full list of thank yous to
thank you to everyone.
The guests.
It went to everyone.
No, but like the other half of the community that made it happen.
Yeah.
But otherwise I would keep everything the same.
I don't think so. You need to verbalize it.
Oh, okay.
Because you guys looked after us really well. Your families did.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to tell us, but we enjoyed Joel's speech.
We did. We
Yeah.
did. Just
Yeah.
going around listening.
How many
to-
minutes was it? Did you ever
I think it was like 15 minutes.
Was it 15?
Yeah,
was it
something
actually that
like
long?
that.
Okay.
Yeah, something
I
like
did
that.
say I was going to talk for a long time.
Yeah.
It was like 15 minutes. And the fact that you're thinking about thanking vendors, like not everyone thinks like that either. So that's
But you got like, to this day, I'm like, I know we did a lot of the plan, but you have to
She
have
always-
the
she
right
always- it
people to
always on her
execute
mind.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always,
that's very kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Do we want to get into
Oh, rapid fire.
rapid fire?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Hopefully being okay, guys. I don't know.
All right.
Or-
You
So-
can start
I
off.
don't know. I'm just living out more of my filmy Bollywood dreams, guys. Just
So-
couldn't have current jewelry for you guys.
Describe your wedding in 3 words.
I don't know. Why am I struggling with 3 words? Because I got so many words in my head. Rapid fire. It's not rapid fire. I want to say fulfilling. Regal, I guess, and maybe what's another word for blessing? Blessing? Can I use blessing as well? Blessed?
Yeah.
I'll say blessed because I feel
so you
like
can definitely use that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
yeah.
No, sweet. That's actually really good.
That's really,
That's really
really
good. Yeah, we relate to it. We relate to it. Yeah.
Absolutely relate to
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. Yep.
Absolutely. I know we had 2 ceremonies, but if you were to pick a moment from the ceremony that really hit you or resonated with you.
Oh, the vows. Yeah, in the Catholic ceremony for me.
So she's not a very good Hindu, so I'm gonna go with the Hindu way. Yeah, like I think the vows, yes, I agree. The vows was really good. I actually because that was in my mind for so long. If anything, I was really nervous when I was saying the vows. So at the Hindu wedding, there was this moment where I think, even though she did forget the Mangalsutra and Sindoor, which
She's
is
the
hard.
priest, yes.
The priest, the pundit, the
Yes,
lovely
we were
pundit.
almost not married.
She's also listening. Hello, pundit. Sorry. But there was a moment, I think, post that, like where the family was all together, and I think that my parents were like holding Sneha or behind Sneha, and then that was a really big moment for me because my parents, like, like I'll openly say, like my parents were not even sure they could be at sitting around the fire at the Munder and Mandap, sorry. That was really a big moment for my parents' growth as well, for them to be like, it's okay, we accept a person with a different faith, and that hit me really hard. Like
That's
that,
so
that
beautiful.
moment.
Such a beautiful moment of families coming together as
I
well.
don't think we ever talked about that.
No.
Yeah. Very, very sweet.
And now I'm Hindu.
No, I still remember we were crouched during that Mangalsutra and also the Sindoor.
Yeah.
And me and Waka was like, hey, is she forgetting Mangalsutra?
The two main
it's like,
things.
it's like, who's going to tell her? But no, I think she was just caught up. So we're not begging you. But
Just listening.
No.
yeah.
I mean, it was awesome that we had a female pundit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's
No,
another, very progressive.
Yeah. Cool. Dancing was something that was quite a lot at your wedding, to the point like we kind of let loose at probably all the events.
Every event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%
Events.
every event.
Yeah.
We're dancing
Yeah.
like crazy.
Yeah. One dancing event or a moment or a dance from a sangeet or the wedding or anything or a performance. You had multiple
I reckon
performances.
the one dance.
One
I would
dance.
want to know what that
Is that
one.
One dance
dance?
that you guys really enjoyed.
First time.
It can't be your first dance.
It cannot be
Can't
the first dance. It cannot be
okay.
the first dance. Like
Yeah.
that,
I'm
the
glad you
reception.
rolled that out.
Yeah,
Okay.
everyone enjoys the first dance.
For me, it was definitely the family dance at the reception with everyone. Like at the end, that was probably the only, like I've rarely I felt proud in my life like that many times. That was like one of the, with all our family issues we've had, like that was like, having all the family there dancing, coming together. I have so much family here, so I was so happy that all my cousins came and we all did it together. That really, like, I'll look back at that video, look back at the photos, and I think like I can see it in me that I'm so relaxed and so focused at the same time. I don't know, like just beautiful moment. Like, and I'm in the front with Sneha, and I'm just looking at her. I just know they're behind us, and I felt this energy of like family
Oh,
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so sweet.
For me, it was our dance during the Sangeet, like the one that we just did, the two of us, that medley. Yeah. That was fun, from like learning it behind the scenes to, again, for me, like it encapsulated everything. It had all the different types of music, all that different dancing styles. And I just felt, I think that was weirdly, like, even though we were front and center, and like it just felt like it was just the two of us when we started dancing. I remember I just kept looking at you and feeling so thrilled it's finally happening. But yeah.
So many of the photos from that dance, like I feel like every photo of me, I just had the weirdest face. So I don't know what I'm doing with my face. Like if she just looked beautiful in every photo, I'm like, like just. I was like, what are you doing? No, it's not your fault. It's me.
I call it charisma.
Yeah.
No. For us, for me especially, one dance that was really special for me was that actually at your
Haldi? The family one?
Your family did, but you were not expecting.
I did not. That was beautiful.
Yeah. So that was very sweet, unexpected, and just like everyone came along. And the Haldi, the way it turned out to be at the end.
It was, I think, one of
That's crazy. Such a hot day, 35 degrees, and
just turned into a massive water fight, and I think everyone let loose, and it was perfect.
Actually, felt like it was written for like in a beautiful, normal way. Like I didn't expect anyone. I just thought everyone brings out the hose at this holiday and everyone just runs away. But everyone's like, let's go. Let's go. Yeah. I'm actually that hot. Plus, I'm just so happy, and I don't care about what happens to my clothes or how my makeup looks, my hair looks. So just
and then relaxing afterwards, I think, with our friends was really it was a really nice moment amongst the chaos.
There's been so many photos that I had to delete from that because it was just like white.
And then
water.
Later I realized it's just water straight hitting the camera.
Oh my God, I hope we didn't.
But you guys, one of the things both of you pivoted so well, went with the heat and made us move and just handled it so well. It's also really hot
and the
for you guys.
tension of the heat and everything.
We always say Haldi is like one of our favorite events.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that everyone's having fun. It's about you guys and you being into each other and everyone just putting Haldi on and just smothering it all over you guys and just enjoying it.
Yeah.
I think that's fun. And I'm glad we pivoted because we were also getting quite hot that day.
Yeah.
It was just like, cameras were getting hot and we were getting hot. So
cameras were getting hot. So if anyone's thinking what we pivoted from, we pivoted and went under shade.
Yes. Changed the whole event.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you guys to finish a sentence.
Okay.
What is marriage for you?
I was just going to say love. Selfless love.
I can never say a whole sentence. I think marriage for me is like two people that are, or whoever's listening and wants to have multiple wives, that's perfectly fine. Marriage for me is like two people working together cohesively towards an aligned goal and are just constantly it's you both believe in that goal. You're bringing family in that goal of yours as well, and you're just working towards it together. Whether it's whether it gets hard or gets good or bad, you're just aligned in on those values and those principles. And I think that's kind of like everything post wedding. Sneha's done so well for both of us. Sneha's done that really well for me because I think everything we work towards is just working towards the goal of creating a family and doing what's necessary for us. And then in that, obviously, there's love and everything else. But sound like a very business answer. That's how I maybe look at love.
The formula to how we make our marriage work.
But selfless, unconditional, and just it's
full of your favorite keyword as far as communication.
Communication. I think what I found interesting with love, I think I don't know if people are listening to this and thinking infatuation. It doesn't that infatuation is not something that fizzles out to some extent. It's the what the beauty of love I think is this shared committed relationship. I think for us what I love is that like it's just this shared commitment together, and that's what makes me so happy. It also goes out, and I feel so proud of that. Like if anything, a lot of people said post marriage, like, oh yeah, it's all downhill from here. All the people at work and stuff, which I found really odd. And I was like, I'm so much happier. If anything, I'm healthier.
Yeah.
Like I work a lot more now, but even then, I feel so much healthier now, which is odd to me. So I don't know if maybe we're just that blessed, and I hope that never changes. And I know life gets hard, with everything that happens in life, but yeah,
I mean, not everything is perfect. We still have our fights and all of that. So I think also important to keep it realistic. Like anyone watching and listening is like, oh,
no,
we just have it all.
No,
like we've definitely had, but that's why I think I said communication. That was, I think, one of the first things when we started dating and everything was a priority for Joel, and he made me a much better communicator. And it's definitely like, if anything, the key to success is just, making sure you don't go to bed angry and talking about everything. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was a sentence.
That was a very short sentence.
Sorry.
I wouldn't expect anything less from you guys.
Yeah.
So
I'll try.
I love it. Beautiful. Now, any last piece of advice to the couples who are planning a wedding, or
anything you want to say?
anything you want to say?
Like,
open for you.
open for you.
Hire these people.
Yeah.
Hire Waqar and Nick for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I think we can say that out of like, even if, we hadn't caught up with you since the wedding, even if you did one event, I think for me, like that's how much of an impact you guys made. So genuine, like, and that's a big thing for us and for me, like making me feel comfortable. I know Joel's in his extrovertedness will build a relationship and be comfortable with anyone. But yeah, it was very important, very special for me. So yeah, and I think the quality of like your work, which is memories, and I think that's just, it's intangible. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I feel like anyone like listening and thinking, considering, reviewing many vendors, like Waqar and Nick have just, from the moment we met in early 2023 or whenever that was, that was like, from then on, it's just been like, I can't explain, like, if they can't make you feel comfortable, there's something wrong with you. Like,
You're the problem.
You are the problem, and you probably don't deserve them. But you should definitely sign up with them if you're not the problem.
Oh my God.
So I'll finish off with the joke.
I think that's going to be a tagline. That's
Never heard that before.
I'm going to put that on my website.
You can't work with me. You're the problem.
That's very sweet, Joel.
That's wonderful. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Means a lot to us.
No problem. Thank you for having us, and thank you for listening to us like ramble on.
That was very sweet. No, but we enjoyed every moment of it. It almost took us back to that wedding week and the time we've known you. I think, and I say this for Waqar as well, we don't look at you as a past couple. Your friend, they say family for us. So yeah.
We've got so many memories from your wedding that there's no possible way that we can think of it as a past couple. We always go back to that wedding.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate
that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right.
Excellent.
Beautiful. That's it.
Get married. Go get married.